Jujitsu included the elements of all martial arts. And the Jujitsu is known as Aikido or Jujitsu. And the Jitsu techniques were called Jujitsu or Judo. And the Karate Jitsu, Karate Do. Jujitsu really means the preservation of self. It means something a little different than Jujitsu or Judo, even though it's not. Kenkai Jujitsu harshes the word. Kenkai Judo, Kenkai Karate, Kenkai Aikido. Kenkai Aikido is sort of like a paradox. It really is like trying dangerous self-preservation. It means something like that, killing self-preservation. So it's sort of like a conflict. But the Kenkai Aikido has many different elements, but fundamentally at the beginning, the Kazushi, the element of Kazushi, went to Judo. The element of Kawashi went to Karate. And the Kumitachis and the Tachidoris fundamentally stayed with the Aikijutsu. And they stayed and they became part of Aikido. Now the Aikijutsu, are you gone?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, the Aikijutsu and the Aikido are just locked. One is are really techniques that are designed to self-defense and to ruin people, and the other is designed to improve your mind. There's a lot of karate and stuff that's designed for your mind. Aikijutsu has nothing to do with being improved to your mind. Aikijutsu doesn't have anything to do with that at all. We don't care about mental improvement. All we can, these are efficacious techniques. The ones that are designed to ruin somebody, and that's all the techniques for. Efficacy is the primary thing. Secondarily, when we don't want to struggle with beating, we struggle with our punching. So these are used for us in the ballistic type of techniques. Now, this Aikijutsu is a really hard thing to learn. Nobody teaches it. And because nobody really wants to just teach somebody to pulverize somebody, because if you do, you have all kinds of problems. Better off to teach somebody something good for the character, good for the soul. And it's like a Funkoshi did, it's good, there's no bunkai in karate. Better off to teach something that just elevates the person. But for us, that's really not quite good enough. And for policemen, they can't knock people's teeth out, punch them in the head, and cave in, can they?
No, sir.
So the police try to control. And yet control techniques aren't adequate either, because once you're in a state of control and the guy reverses wants to hurt you, you can't get out of the control to actually defend yourself. So these techniques are very difficult to learn and difficult to practice. There's nobody to teach them. Why is there nobody teaching this kind of stuff? Well, why does nobody know it?
They're afraid to practice.
Why are they afraid to practice?
They want to get hurt.
Why don't they want to get hurt?
You have to make a large
No, there's more than that. I'll teach you things to get hurt. Nobody wants to. Jeff, are you in class or are you carrying things in from your car?
Right there, sir.
That's what my wife says when she says she's ready to go to dinner. And it's always a 15-minute wait. The fact is that nobody pays the money for it. This stuff here, in theory, if you want to practice Aikijutsu with an instructor, you have to bring even in your orient, you have to sign over half your wealth. Like sign over your estates to the people and enter a die sheet, and that way otherwise you wouldn't be taught. And you have to make the instructor nervous. So if any of you guys want to learn this stuff privately, $50,000 will turn me. Right? Or $50,000, I'll be glad to come teach you privately. Don't laugh about $50,000. I think there's no question.
Sir, may I enter class?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, sir.
Danny Stevens, a very, very senior black belt, and Larry Overholt probably invested that much in time and energy. I don't think there's any question. Isn't that so?
Yes, sir.
So we know that. So the senior people can, there's sort of a relationship we have. Second thing, the Quantum is a little different in other places. I speak to my black belts about restraint. I just don't want any barriers in the way. And there's a lot of artificial things. If I think you're doing something else, I just tell you. And I don't even care about your feelings. Any more than I care about my kids' feelings. Right? You guys all have children. And you tell your kid, hey, don't do that. You're worried about whether you hurt their feelings or not. Feelings, you just tell them, don't you? Because you're a parent. So we have this working without restraint. And so for that way we can learn. So this stuff here is a real complexity. It's a fantastic thing, but it's not taught in the first place. There's no real benefit to teaching it to your students. None. And there's a real benefit to not teaching it to your students. So if there's a real benefit for not teaching it and no benefit for teaching it, why would you teach it? So the student could go out and say, gee, how good I am? Nobody wants students to do that, do they? Besides that, who's better? Mr. Anderson, Dave Age or you? I don't know. Who's a better cop than I do? Great ball better. Maybe for the program. I mean, you know, but how do you know? So as we're developing this stuff, we carefully develop the pattern. And the pattern, we demand that you follow the pattern exactly as I lay it out. If you're training with me on this, you're going to follow the pattern 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that way, you will understand exactly what I want. You go to where I want you to go, and you're not going to travel your own road until you learn it. And that has two values. The first value would be what?
Helps it become more part of your system.
Well, that's not, that's true. That's a good answer. That's what I'm looking for. First place, you don't get hurt. It minimizes injuries. And the second point is what? You're always appreciating the fellow that has gone one step further than you can. You have a real, absolute appreciation for it. If things are random place, you don't even know, and you can't appreciate the person's one step ahead. This way, you always understand the one step ahead, and you can appreciate that point. So we take these orderly progress. Like if our guys are just fighters, nobody can appreciate what the effort the 8th downs have in things. But if you go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and you're 7th time, you can appreciate the effort when you work with guys that engage 8th degree, assuming it's all within the same system. So keeping things orderly allows us to the older people that know a lot of things to show it orderly and have some kind of a good feeling that they have known this and they're giving it to you and that they feel like they're teachers. It's important for a teacher to feel like he's a teacher and to see the progress in the student. You guys know that yourself. And if you walk in there as a teacher and the students don't know you're a teacher, you don't have the appreciation and the fun of the teaching. And the second thing, there's a tremendous injury here. So our goal is to put this together. Now, nobody's been able to do this. But because of our background in hard karate, and because of our background, the way I grew up in wrestling and judo and things like that, we have this really fine point. We can see it. We put it together. It's acceptable. Now, there's 1,000 people that can come in and tell us how to do this. Everybody does jujitsu business. Everybody can tell us. And it's like we were up at, with Rich and you, and we were up there. There's a big Curtis Smith who's out. He's been practicing jiu-jitsu for years. He knows all the things. And he does this one stand, jumps around, lands on the back. Fantastic. Oh, the guy jumped in the air and came down and stuff. It was incredible, wasn't it? Yes, sir. And I said, gee, it's terrific break balls. I said, okay, now let's start training. After about 5 minutes, I said, Strange, how do you get these shows without getting killed? And I said, well, gee, you know, it seems to me you're taking all these break balls. You know, like, we don't fall like that. He said, that's terrible. Rizzo came up with his story, I'm not going to fall. And I said, sure. He said, yeah, I can fall. I said, you're positive? Yeah, I can fall. I said, okay, so you're not going to slap and knee bump together. And he went up like a balloon. You see, you're going to do it. He said, boy, he wasn't feeling like that. Then he wasn't. He's an authentic karate guy. So he's busy trying to learn to think correctly now. He really is. He's a really authentic dude and one of the really top quality guys. But for other people, you know how that scares them? Like TR tells me all the time about how he's an expert in Neon 1. You know? How'd you like to have him in one of your rings doing it as a green belt? What kind of score would you give him, you know? See, you can't convince people of something they don't have any knowledge. They don't know, they don't know. So the first place that we're going to do here is to let our minds be developed and molded by the trainings. And what we're attempting to develop is a mind that can understand this. So the first place is to hone our minds so that we can understand this kind of technique. The second thing is develop a conditioned reflex under that kind of system. The third thing is develop appreciation for other techniques that you haven't mastered yet, but you will, and learn to subdivide it and go about it with orderly fashion so that when you're learning, you won't become injured. See? Now that pretty much in order is what we're doing. It's very, very clear. Good. Repeat it to me.
We can't go forward.
Right? Repeat it. If it's clear, then repeat it. Repeat it. That's the problem. I talk to 10 people, each brother feels responsible for 1 10. Okay, let's start this one. We don't want any injury. We have true appreciation for what people are doing. We want to be able to see the techniques that we're doing, and we want to qualify those and lead to the training of those. Underneath that, we want to learn the conditioned reflex. Don't we? And then underneath that, we want to form the mind so that we can continue learning and training these techniques. That's it. I give you 5 and backwards. Can you give them to me forwards? We're going to, first off, we're going to what? What we're going to train the mind so we can understand these things. The second point, what are we going to do?
Conditioning reflexes.
We're going to develop conditioned reflexes for them so we can feel by the hand. We can condition reflexes with the eyes and condition reflexes with the hand. The third point is what? We're going to understand techniques and have appreciation of the technique. And the techniques we can't do, we're going to learn how to quantify them, approach them on it, and subdivide them so we can come to this kind of section. Right?
Right.
Okay, and that part deals in terminology. And then the last point, the last fifth point is what? Say, see, bang, we got it all right there. That tells you the whole thing. And you're not going to forget that, right? Okay, I'm serious. Now you don't have to. You understand the point. So we're going to dive right in on this. And the first thing we're going to do is the turnovers. Now these turnovers are interesting techniques. I'm going to use you. I'm going to bounce for a while. I'm going to use you for the turnovers. Bring me apart. Now the turnovers, when he holds his hand, my body is turning this way. So I'm standing parallel. And by moving, because this creates, see if I'm moving this way, see this creates an off-balancing action. Doesn't it? This creates off-balance. So when I move here, he's off-balance. Now, when he's off-balance, I can prevent the foot from coming, of course. But what I'm going to do is put the hand here, when he's off-balance, I'm going to pull the shoulder down sharply by pressing this way. See, it's a press. I'm pushing. Once again, getting back to grasping. Watch. Just as simple as that. Now, his whole goal is to understand on this that he wants to take a relentless throw. And so he's going to get as much of his body on the floor as he can.
Hey.
One.
Hey.
Okay. One. Good. Once your body on the floor, later on you should become more effective, slap the floor a little harder, whatever. So we have partners, and we're going to proceed. Get yourself a partner, and you're going to work with him.
Hey.
Unless you want to work with John. Work with John? I'm going to work with John. For the time being. You switch off. Get yourself together. The whole force space over there.
We'll change my top.
What?
We'll change my top. We're going to do a couple of
Good idea. You got a partner? You got a partner?
I
Good. All right, good job. Wow, me, I go with you. Okay. That looks good, Danny. I love that. Okay, now we got the other tatami too, so you guys can get for the other tatami. And then, a bunch of you guys, and we have enough room that everybody can throw in. Good. Well, you guys are the center. Okay, try it there so nobody get hurt. You guys stay in the corner.
You want the thing so roll?
You can turn it off. You're saying that the hand is pressed to the inside of the wrist. See? Now, watch once more. A lot of you guys are diving from here. He goes this way. When you go to fall, come into here and you sit down this way. And lower your body down. Don't dive in from here. Just bring a step around and come over here, okay? Passing your hand and pushing like this. There you go. What about it? Take the hand here. I could turn it outside here. The hand's here right now. And I take the body like this. One. I'm just simply dipping. You know, at a more advanced stage of this, my body drops from here. As a matter of fact, even though I don't like to with my clunky knees, if I move, then the technique becomes really bad.
Hey.
You see? Now watch mine. I'm just holding from here. Watch. That's a hard throw.
Hey.
Okay. Now, watch. First off, I'm just going to do some turnovers. We're demonstrating. Watch. These are turnovers. Okay, have fun. You see, I was moving from here before, and moving from here, but I could just Can I catch from here? And I'm throwing this way. One, that's a tight push.
Okay.
Now later on, a hard tight push, I put my foot, one, and it's a different kind of a throw, more difficult for him to wiggle out of. And then later on, I can just like it from my body, one, and I really have him moving.
Height.
So in order, there's two ways to pick him up. One is from his hair, from his heel, bring him over my body, here.
Height.
To bring him over this way, he has to be rearing back. His body has to be rigid. If he collapses, you can't bring him this way because we got just a collapse technique. He just slides around, falls down in front of me, and there's the throw.
Height.
So our idea is to put our hand here. Now, here. And my left hip is going to be there. So in effect, I'm ending up this way. My hand right here.
Height.
See, this is very difficult for some people to do. And from here. So this idea of my hand being back here and my hand being on his belt. So I'm standing here. And I pull this way. This is the power hand. Now from this action, one, I just lift him and roll him over. It's not really a lift. This becomes really slick. It's like one. See, watch what we're doing here so you can see it too. If I'm moving in here, you can correct me. You see, and again, I have control of this action. Now, from here this time, we're going to step across, pull him out, and kneel here. Okay?
Height.
So after this technique, after we move from here, and the Kazushi is correct, the power hand set from this action here. When he drops, I'm going to step across, and I'm going to put my knee on the shoulder joint. Okay, that's the break hold. Okay? In here, and this time we're going to bring the body close to us and reach in. One, two. And when we come over here, like this, we're going to take this part of the arm and come this way.
Height.
I just hit my elbow here. That's the same thing. Now watch again. I'm moving from here and I bind the body to me. And then I shift under one, two, and I'm going to come a step over and just drop.
Height.
See? Okay. I move his arm up here, so fundamentally it stops. I don't go anymore. I elevate his body a little way, and then I press here. You
Height.
see, I move the arm up, and when it gets here, then I press this part of the shoulder in. Here's the throw. You
Height.
see, so I take your arm sideways like this. How far do they go? Take them up as far as they get in the lock, and then you push the shoulder in. That's it. As soon as the shoulder is pushed in here, then you're beyond the lock by about that far, and it pushes the shoulder. Okay?
Height.
See?
Height.
Action hitting here. Essentially, this doesn't hurt as much as this does. This pad here hurts more than this here. See? Tap, no tap, tap.
Sir, I didn't get the throw.
So we're going over the top from here. And this time that body pivot comes. One, two. And we move over here, and we're just going to see the action set. But I like to keep my one foot over, and I like to see that action. Okay? So, again, we're grabbing the sleeve, and we put our hand here. And all I want you to do is get your hip under. One, two. And I pick him up here. And they're truly, just for this one here, one. See, I've changed the course of my shoulders. So when you bring them up correctly, and you bring from here your hips through, one, two. At this time, I want you to let loose, and I want you to turn the shoulder to the floor.
Height.
We're gonna get them up in the hip, let loose of them, and turn the shoulder to the floor, and look what happens. Just like this. So stand up like this with your hip through. Turn your shoulder to the floor. Put your hand underneath if you want to. You got a bad back, you end up with your arm underneath. And that way's a hard throw. And then if you fall forward on your head, you have a throw to kill you. Watch. Bring the technique to fall on the floor, just go forward on your head.
Like one motion?
Yeah. See? Just clock.
All right, wait, now go.
Technique. You don't face the camera.
Go this way.
Okay, go. Now there, watch. Catches the technique. Now he wants. See, watch. Very simple technique.
Hey.
Now, you're already taking some hard balls being thrown, so this is just one like this, and you can just blow off the shoulder and puts it big clunk on the back. It's real simple. It's easier than turnovers. You can't get hurt on this.
Hey.
But for the watermelon, I'm again grabbing perpendicular to the hand, right about the elbow. And the technique perfectly is like this. It used to be step, and I bounce around the foot, and it goes up, and I'm doing a one-legged squat, I go down with a one-legged squat. But if you do it rapidly, the body, this is almost like a regular. One, and I'm throwing this way, and my body should be up like this, and he should be over there. Because when I choke, this is probably what you get your stiff neck from. When I choke the technique, and I start to throw, I impel it, and my hip here, and it's choke, see? You can't get away, and this takes the hand. I choke this way when he's out. And you see where my body is? Your body tends to go there, but I'm here. If I was back this way, you see I couldn't do anything. And if I'm this close, so this depends on this technique. I have here and I push. And this body tends to turn. Look at him, he turned right in the face. I don't want you guys to do the choke, but this is the idea. You understand? Okay. This way. Like he's going to start with snatch and start around this throw. And he just wants to keep spinning and take down there. East watch. Watch now.
Am I seeing on you?
You're going to see a knot. You're going to see a knot. Comes around. Now what he's doing is just doing like almost like a water knocking. He starts to see it and he starts to see knocking on him. I'm just continuing like this and taking back that one.
Hey.
Once again, he starts to see a knocking. And I go from here and I sit down here and I do this technique.
Hey.
Okay? And slide right down his body and throw it.
Hey.
Now this is one of the simplest techniques you can possibly do. And it's a leader to the Otoshi. It isn't Tani Otoshi. He starts to throw, and I come from here, 1, 2, just like that. It's simple, simple. Now this technique is very dangerous, because you're bombing down your head, people will fall.
Hey.
And if you guys are bombing your head on the forehead a little bit, there's no penalty for that. Street knocks your shoulder back. So when you go down, you go back and you're killing your chest for real.
Hey.
Okay? Okay, so they start to throw, and just sit down like this and bam. Okay, go.
Hey.
We are in the bar, and we'll sit against the bar. But right now, let's hold here on the belt and in the front here. And when I sit down here, I'm just going to push it behind me. This is called Uki Otoshi. 1. Because they're kind of a hard throw. He doesn't really much he can do about it. But I'm sitting this way. See, I have a hold of him here, and I'm turning right over here. You see, so the reason I'm doing this, because this allows you to identify the driving hand of the power hand. Now, the power leg is not much of a problem. Because if I go down, obviously this isn't the power leg. This leg is 1. This is the power leg. Just like pushing this way. And for real strong people, they can take it like this and throw you out 10, 15 feet. Now let's see how you can work like this. Let's get a strong person and a small person. Rick.
Hey.
Use John Barker.
Hey.
Poor guy. Okay, go. Let's give him a fly. You're putting one hand here, and down one hand here, one hand on the, like you got his wallet.
Hey.
Look the wall. And the other hand's here. And when you fall down, you're going to see how far you can throw with that one hand.
Hey.
You see?
Hey.
And a big guy, but a smaller guy really sticks him. And if you had a knife in a guy here, that'd be a nice way to throw him, wouldn't it?
Hey.
You go, shh. So you got like this, and you're sitting down. Boom. Now this relates directly to the other, speak, directly to the other technique, okay?
Hey.
Why don't we just hang on? Let's do it.
Hey.
One hand on the wall, one hand right on the... Okay, I can kick here on the inside of the leg.
Hey.
If he goes down instead of leg this way, you gotta kick this way into the inside of the leg. You see?
Hey.
Each direction. He can kick here, he can kick behind you over here. So kick way up over your head, up here.
Brian, slide back a hair.
not between, now you bring him over.
Okay.
Find that's a very easy technique.
Hey.
It's the same one as the other one, it's not quite as pure, but don't kick anybody in the knee. We're kicking from here, we're gonna have a hand from here, and we're gonna pick him from here, and this hand's getting forward, or however we want. And a lot of times, they'll pick from here. So you from the inside of the sleeve. If I pick from the inside of the sleeve, my hips go across, one. Now, you don't have to throw on this technique, but the fact of the matter is that I'm grabbing here, and I'm pushing my hand forward, and my body's under this way. One. So look how it goes, you see? Right over the hip. So the hand comes up from here on the inside, and I pull it this way.
What do you call that one, sir?
What?
What's that one called?
It's called a sort of Gilgoshin. You grab all the sleeves, it's called a cup. So you watch. I'm moving from here, and my hip comes through this way. See, I'm pushing. See the action? Watch. One.
Okay.
And for strong men, that's a cranker. Sometimes if you, but I'm not, my hands down behind me. The hand's here, and I enter with my hip, and this becomes a power hand. It doesn't back here, it's here. See? Okay, now you can get a feel of it, and depending on who you're working with, either execute the throw or drop. Not necessarily. I'm going to move here, and I'm going to take him over my ankle. See?
Okay.
All I'm doing is taking him over my ankle. Later on, as I become adept, I can take him over my foot.
Okay.
There's no difference between an Ashi technique here, taking him over my foot, and it was by taking him over my ankle, except to be a little more crank.
Okay.
So taking over your ankle. Ankles like this, the hands, and take him over your ankle. Do not take him over your hip.
Hey.
Hey.
Put your foot down, heel flat. You feel it to that?
Hey.
You can't do that anymore. It'll pull your ankle, it will rip your calf muscle, right?
Hey.
This releases the calf muscle. Don't get that foot flat heel now.
Hey.
I gotta look at that. Bend the leg go. See if I can do it here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I just moved a little bit. I'm moving, see, I turn. You guys, remember you turn me, that's good, go. No, turn, that's right, go. So I can do this way. I can turn here and catch him on my knee here. I'm not getting the knee, but I'm bringing him over the knee. 1, 2. Again, using that same power hand from here, and I'm bringing over the knee. But I have to set my power hand in here or he won't come over the knee. So as I'm setting this action, the power hand comes up. At this point, I'm going to not pull, I'm going to drive this hand. What? There it goes.
Hey.
You see?
Nice.
So we're bringing our knee here, and power handing up. An ankle before, now it's this way.
Okay.
We're not kicking against the leg. So once again, it's the same action, you see, or from here. See the action? I'm moving. Now once again, I'm setting the power hand. I have the out balance. You see, 1. Watch my knees. 1. So any of the 3 previous grip functions. The one from the over the shoulder, the one under the arm, whatever. But the leg's here, and I'm literally pulling over my leg. I'm not kicking. You're all doing it very, very well. Ta-da!
Okay.
I'm just going to roll over my hip now, right high. High on my thigh instead of the knee. So when I put my foot from here, my foot is going to be here on the bottom. Say 1, 2. Rolling over that. So I'm pulling over this 1, 2.
Okay.
Let's Strain my shoulder. That's right. Go, get up there. You got to really pull it more. You got to pull like son of a bitch. He's not. How much you weigh?
You do it.
Really good. See, this is one circle Oh, perfect. That's it. That's okay, since we're doing so well, let me convert that again. Come on. Now again, since you're using this grip, this should be a more positive grip for you. This time, instead of putting my foot here and bringing over, I'm going to step back through and what? And that's the Uchimata. I'm stepping here, and I'm going back through here, and my foot goes up, what? Down. Now, see, that's a subtle point that people don't realize. They don't realize that this is that action. And that's a real subtle action. Let's see what you're doing down there. You're going to slow us in. You got to lift him higher on your hip. Bring him more.
Right.
He's really right on your butt. Nice, go a little deeper through. Right again, go a little deeper. Push your leg through. Watch. That's it. There's what you got. Now, the only thing was that he should have pointed his head, foot towards the ceiling. Now, a lot of people doing a really good Uchimata. Let's try him. Well, if he split with that, well, he's been a lot of experience with it. See if you can do this any better. But your foot has to go to the ceiling. Hey. Yeah, see, the foot goes as high to the ceiling as you can push it. And if it doesn't go up, sorry, I don't put mine to the ceiling. I mean, I really don't. Yeah, but the higher the foot goes, the more devastating the throw, okay? Now, you see how we're relating these? We haven't lost the pattern yet, have we? That's it. Are the two last of the techniques of the Yoko Watari. The Yoko will carry, as he's coming, and the Yoko will carry as simple as this. Punch real hard. Well, I'm holding it like this. Oh, did I hold him? Held the hand and everything, didn't I? Okay. But I'm really doing this. It's like Aikido, watch one spot. I'm throwing him. Now, for you guys who like to take the flop, you can flop that way. The rest of you that want to throw, can throw that way. You guys that don't want to flop, don't flop. Everybody can throw. Got it? And big guys will take the flops. Go. Turns the camera on. Good. Let's go. No, you get in line here. Right here, everybody. Everybody the same line. Don't watch it. Go ahead and do it. Look at the double step. We see so much with this. 1, 2. Okay? Watch. We're doing 90 no 1, 2. This is the way that we're just trying to track like this. So, come here. 1, 2, 3. That's the step that we can throw from this standing throw. You can set it wherever you want. 1, 2. I'm catching. So watch. Okay. 1, 2. See, now this time, I usually pull it with this thing. This is the hand, of course. This is my arm hand. This is the pull. Real simple technique. See how simple that is? He gets up, goes to grab. Gets up, goes to grab. Gets up, goes to grab. Now watch, I'm looking all kinds of. Okay. See how easy that is? Okay. So what I'm doing from here, I turn and make a U-turn with my hands. 1. There's that turnover. I'm not kicking the feet. There, by golly. Turnover that we were doing earlier. If I do it quickly, watch the foot. 1. So I'm merely doing a turnover. From here. Dayashi, a foot wheel. I trap the foot and turn him over. Now there are gakis and all kinds of other ways to go about this. But for you to learn, this is eminently simple. Watch, I'm going to yank him and stand in beautiful position. See? Watch, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm trapping the foot. I'll do it very slowly. See?
Hey.
And a turnover. I didn't put my foot on it and turn it over.
Listen.
You already did this real well. You did the turnover.
Hey.
Put your foot on it and turn it over.
Hey.
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 Listen.
How's that for an approach? Here, and put your foot in the front stance. Now change feet. If I were to take his foot, bring his foot up off the floor this way, and then throw him here, he couldn't balance. So what I'm doing when I do this, I press on the top of his leg, taking it, which no matter what you keep pushing foot on the floor, even that, I take the weight off his foot.
Hey.
And then I pitch him that way. So when I'm moving forward, it doesn't matter whether he steps forward or what, because if I step here, that's still the back foot.
Hey.
That's the back foot. The foot is still back in relationship to me. And it's better to have that leg coming or walking right there. Right there, I can feel it. You see?
Hey.
I can feel it right there, watch. That's it. From here, that's it. And then I put it from here, and I'm throwing him over.
Hey.
So I just press here not to take the weight off. And then I'm pulling, and that typically, now this time, instead of trying to turn him, I'm going to pitch him. This way, I'm dealing a shovel. See? So I'm moving a little bit, so I just get this feel. Okay?
Hey.
Hey.
Bring him up on your shoulder. Now, because of my knees, I don't lift, and on the control machine, I will, I gotta be careful. Watch, you put, no. Rick,
Right.
I'll pick up you, okay?
Hey.
Now watch. Now pick him up slowly, just stand up with him. 1, 2, and sit. Now this step, you're going to step back out to here and drop him there. You're going to drop him where he's standing, we're stepping out that way, dropping him here, step back that way. You're like this, you have him here. You go 1, 2, okay.
Sorry, I made a mistake.
Hey.
1,
No, you don't have to bounce up, just go back. Take like this. 1, 2, you bend over.
Hey.
1.
That's perfect. Now let's see how this works together. John, Parker,
Hey.
Okay, sir.
I think it is. No, you're going to throw him.
Hey.
That's right. Now this time you're going to pick him up and collar the room and land on him. Hit. Catch him up. Go. Now I want you to do a bounce on that good arm trap. Jump on the good arm bar. Horizontal. Sit on his arm. Go. Go. 1. Oh! Okay, he can return it. Now for you guys, when you pick him up from here, I want you to step back here. Okay, that's the technique. You step back out from under. Go. Go. You're good. Go. Go. 1. Yeah, but see when, Brian, when you're coming on this technique, when you're picking from this action here, when you go up, the body comes to here. You see. Now the body comes to here. And to avoid the technique, this foot shifts, and then 1, 2, like that. So when you pick him up, the body has to stand straight. This isn't a hard lift. This is easy lift. You pull over and 1. This is a very easy lift. You can carry anybody this way. And when the body comes from here, now this is again 1. Okay? And so you don't get your head caught. Usually the guy drive like this. Usually instead of turning this way, they go bam and dropping this way.
Hey.
Or the other way. 1, 2, I guess the other way come better. We'll see if we can.
Hey.
You want to put him back on the feet, right? Hey. Okay. Now you're going to throw him this way. Step back and turn. And bring him down hard. Go hard as you can. Hard as you can. That's throw. Whip your body in. Go. 1, 2. You're still clumsy, but you understand the action. Now you guys can practice that for yourself. It's not hard to get under somebody because this is a very basic implant. The very basic fireman's carry. I don't like to do it with my knee, but you're here. If you have here, and just simply stand up. This is it. This is nothing. Okay? Okay. Now, you got your drink?
No, sir.
No, sir. Get your drink.
Hey.
One, and I have this action.
Hey.
But really, what we're going to try to do is this. 1, 2, and this brace, and he's down, and his arm. So if he comes up again, he's vicious a little bit, and his arm is bent. I want me to do that. I grab from here, and I grab across here, right? And then what do? I put my head here, and we go right on down here, and he's into this,
Hey.
right? Hey, you don't want to forget those type of things.
Sir, can you do it from this angle?
Now watch again.
Sir.
He grabs. I just merely do this 1, 2, and I grab here. I put my head and I pull on the floor. That's it.
Sir.
Otherwise, if I fish you for grips, if you have cross grip particularly, guys with cross grip, I hit from here. I can't do much, right? But if I come across the inside, then we have this.
Hey.
You see what's happening? And he grabs again. Now here. And I go to come out this way on the inside of the technique, or this way on the outside of the technique and come from here, which is one of the ways that we used to do it. But say I don't want to do that, watch. And I'm going to come from here. What do I do from here?
Hey.
What happened? Now, what do we do here? Now we reach, what? That's terrible, isn't it? Yes, sir. Yeah. You see? Okay. That arm gets all tangled up there. And most people aren't flexible. Judo people take their hands almost straight back. Most people can't, and you pull the shoulder muscle. And so when you fall, the duty is to keep your arms close to your body like this as you can, so that you don't get your arms twisted out like this, because your grip is out. So most people grabbing, they'll go up in here for the neck, because in here, it's very difficult for him to reach my hand. So if I'm throwing from here, you see, my technique is almost secure if I can get my hand behind. So fundamentally, if I'm fighting with him, and if I get this grip, he's as good as strong, because he can do nothing when I get this grip. He can't shake my grip. So all the guys try to go up and they try to get their hand in here. You see?
Hey.
That is the throwing grip. So once the hand's there, the guy's gone. You're going to slide his hand up your back and you can kick you in no touch. Run your hand up his sleeve inside his neck and no touch in my direction. Hey, you're going to get your hand, go, touch right back here, go. This time, hold on. Don't break your hand in the process. You're throwing up wrist. Do it right. You see?
Hey.
That's not a funny throw, is it? Try it once more. Look where he is. He got his hand back there. He takes him to the push and the choke is automatic. Watch. 1. See? In the choke position.
Hey.
So he had his hand behind the neck. Now we haven't taught that kind of grip, but that's the next step up. Right, Ricky? Come on out here. Put your hand back in here, take him down with rotation, and put your hand right behind the neck and cross the grip on the pass. But your hand's going to go here. So your hand right behind the thumb. Hand your hand with the thumb hanging. Go down. Rotation. Keep your grip. You see? See, he's gone. That's really dangerous. So with most of the major throws, that's the way to grab him. We're not doing the tomanagi tonight back over the top because everybody understands that technique. The foot sits in like this, and we don't need to really make that kind of throw.
Hey.
Now I'm going to take now the kumikachis. Let's get the swords up, and you guys just rotate. And 1 to the insertion. Give me one here. Moose.
Hey.
Okay. Watch what I'm doing. I'm standing. Get on the other side of the tongue. There's one stomach cord in your
Yes, sir.
face. 1, 2, boy. Woo! Now if I can grab here, you see I really have some serious stuff I can do. But if I didn't grab here when I come out, Again, I got some serious stuff I could do.
Hey.
Hey, I'm here. See the position?
Hey.
Oh, let's go this way.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got that. Just jump inside the left hand. Okay, go.
Hey.
Five shin eyes. Straight up swinging. In and out. We're going to allow no more than 2 or 3 minutes on this. It's going to be a whole long time on this. Move in and move out. Hit me harder. Harder. Right on the head. Get the on the head. Yeah, right on the head. Yeah, get me on the head. Harder. Again, whack it. Have a distance, you got time to swing. Hit me harder, you got time to swing. Now I know next time I bring out a razor. I'm going to touch you, shave your mustache. Let's go. Oh, you're doing the same thing again. You guys can do it straight.
Hey.
Come forward, each. Come forward. Right. Ball section. Kumitachi. No, ball section. Ball section. Done. Raise up. Okay, reach out. Fingertips as far as they'll go. Reach, 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 and. Okay, right hand. Up. Touch the ceiling. And. Ready? Left hand up. Touch the ceiling. Other side. Loosen shoulders a little more. Big circle. Forward. Into the rear. Okay, now one arm forward, one arm back. Move forward, one back. We're going to reverse it. Without thinking that. Okay, now speed them up very fast. Reverse it. At the same time, put the hands down. Okay. Move your knees forward. Nothing. Yes! Go! want to try and change the loosening up process of patterns for people. Okay. That's a way you can injure yourself or hurt yourself. If there's something else you need to do, loosen up, go ahead and do that.
Right. Yeah, don't run. Things start sticking. That's one reason.
Do that. Okay. Let's continue. Now, what I'm going to show you a stretching exercise to do. And I don't do stretching before the workout. It's usually the last thing we do. The idea is that whenever you're stretching, whatever muscle or muscle group you're stretching, rather than bouncing, you hold it for maybe 15 to 20 seconds. Much better results from it. But this is a real simple exercise you can use for stretching the hamstrings. Just put your feet together. I want you to push your chin away. I want you to push your tailbone back like this. Okay, just push it in two opposite directions like that. Okay, and then push them away and treat your butt like you're going to push your door open. Just push it back. Drop your chin down. Feel the stretching the hamstring. And just go to a little discomfort. And count. You're going to roll up. Yeah. And let's start out with just a couple of little things. I won't go too deeply into this because I don't want to bum everyone out on doing this now. As far as training, I'm sure that all of you know you must do training in three different areas. Not only your karate or the technique you want to do, but you must have some cardiovascular training and also some strength training. I know that you have some excellent weight trainers here, so I don't say a word about strength training. And I'm sure you can find that out on your own. And I know you have people that do cardiovascular training and things of that nature, but I'm going to give you some ideas, something that I do in my dojo. I do classes 3 times a week. It's a 30-minute class. And just some of the simple things that we do. Let's just start. Let's see. My watch is. Let me get my watch. You have one? Does it have an automatic timer on it that just beeps after 15 seconds? And let me get this. This will count all by itself.
I think I got my 100 throws in today. Or my 100 falls. Dude, like pee.
Okay, now actually there are a couple of things that you can do. And this is designed, the type of workout anyway is designed to do 2 things. One, not only to make sure your stamina is good, but to help the body or the muscles replace glycogen more quickly. And what I'm going to do is just do kind of a warm-up. Okay, and how many of you do cardiovascular training now? Anyone? Okay, what do you do?
I run.
Okay, how much running? What do you do?
I run 6 miles about twice a week.
Okay, 6 miles twice a week. Do you time yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. You monitor your pulse, everything?
No, I don't monitor my pulse. I just watch my watch, see how long it takes me to get 6 miles.
Okay. Are you monitoring your pulse? What do you do?
Aerobics class.
Aerobics? Yeah, you definitely have to monitor your pulse. What do you do?
I cycle and run and interval training.
Okay. What do you do?
I run.
Run. Okay, how about the rest of you? What's everything? Ladies. Okay, now.
I am good at nothing right now in case I faint.
Okay, well, I'm not going to press you real hard on this because what I want you to do is I want you to understand the principle behind it, and then I want you to take it and use it. It's a lot of fun. And what we think about whenever because we dump cardiovascular work a lot of times from our training because, we don't have time to go out and run. And we say interval training, what are you doing in interval training? What,
3 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off, ring movement, rope, all the bag
okay. You're doing karate technique as your cardiovascular training?
I don't really think so. It's not like kata or real, it's just tons of rope work, tons of moving around, not much.
Okay.
Where the elbow should be.
Sure. Okay, good deal. What we want to do is we want to separate our karate training almost totally from what we're doing when we're doing cardiovascular work and think only cardiovascular work. Let's start with, first of all, just kind of running in place. And I'm going to give you this, and the whole objective here is to get your heart rate up. Now, I don't know if you know what your heart rate should be, but some of you should get one of the charts and just post it here somewhere and start to do that and monitor it. It's very important that you monitor your heart rate. And what I usually do is go 15 seconds, just count it 15 seconds and then multiply it by 4 and it gives you your heart rate. And then I can kind of give you an idea of what it should be based on your age. Okay? And that's what you're based on. You have, of course, a maximum heart rate. You want to make sure you're not functioning there. There are a lot of other things that come into play when you start to do this. You can measure your recovery time and tell what kind of condition you're in. Even for like you, okay, you feel that you're in good shape, okay, but then how long does it take to recover? Okay, once you do get your heart rate up really high. Okay, so let's go running in place just very gently and then get all the muscles involved and just get the arms going as you do this. One of the way you do it is pump the arm. The faster you pump the arm, the faster the feet are going to move, right? But don't punch, okay? Don't punch. You want to use the big muscles, right? Those muscles. Now what we do is we do that for about 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, that was 2 minutes, right? Okay, now we're not going to go through all the workout because I don't want to burn you out doing this, right? Now, so 2 minutes just kind of warm up. Now we're going to do the same thing again, except we're going to do it in bursts. Okay, and the bursts are going to go like this. Okay. And then slow, ready? Okay, and then slow. Okay, ready?
Ready?
Go, ready? Go! Come on, ready? Go! Pump the hands fast. I want you to go fast. Ready? Go! Faster, there you go. Okay, and stop. Now, you did that for 15 minutes.
15 seconds?
So for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, now, take your pulse, everyone, ready? Start counting now. You should move around as you're taking your pulse. And then stop. Okay, what you got?
35.
35, multiply that by 4. Okay, and what's your age?
50.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, what you got, Joe? You can count? We'll do it again, just keep going. What's your age? I mean?
38.
38, multiply by 4. And what's your age?
35.
35, good. Okay.
38.
38, and your age?
35.
Okay, good. Okay.
I think 48, sir.
48?
I
Bad?
think. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know how to count.
got other hands to do.
I might have messed up.
All right,
Almost 30.
30? Okay, that's good. For your age is what?
29.
40,
40?
Be younger.
Okay. And what your age is what?
somewhere around 22.
Around 40? Okay, now here's what that's good. Your age is what? 21? Well, all you're looking for is when you start to monitor the heart rate, is you're trying to, first of all, make sure that you are reaching your target heart rate so that you're working. And in addition to trying to become more fit, we're also trying to burn fat. Okay? And then you must get the liver working before you do that. You can't just kind of burn this roll that you get right here. That's all. All over the body. And when you do that, if you're monitoring your heart rate, you're getting it up there and keeping it there for 20 minutes, then that's what you're doing. But you must get that heart rate up and maintain it for that 20-minute time period. So you can do this with simple exercises like these in class. Now, you should, when you do the workout like this, have a jump rope handy, okay, a set of hand weights, and you can use whatever you want. Say 3 pounds, 7 pounds, 15, 20 pounds, just depending on your strength. And some of the exercises you can do as you're doing this. Let's just kind of do jump and rope. And I want to give you an idea of how you can do this and change it around a lot so that you really have those muscles in place to go after. You can go sometimes, and you should work in sets. Okay, and as you plan your workout, you say, okay, today we're going to do 4 sets of jump and rope for 30 seconds. Okay, then we're going to put the rope down immediately. Okay, we're going to pick up the hand weights and we're going to shuffle for 30 seconds. Okay, then we'll take a 10-second break and we'll go and do that 4 times. Okay, so let's go. Everyone have your jump ropes?
What do you mean by shuffle before we start? What's the shuffle?
Okay, no, shuffling is just you can move back and forth like this. You can change your feet back and forth like this. But all you want to do is just keep the heart rate up. So if you start doing something where you monitor your heart rate and it's down, and you need to increase the intensity or do something a little different with it. Right?
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you some of the exercises you can use with that. Okay, let's go again, 15 seconds. Okay, we're going to do jump and rope. Okay, ready? And go. Ready? Okay, jump rope down, then pick up the weights, and then just shuffle, just move it back and forth with it. I have 2 positions. You guys put the weights down by the side like this. Okay. If you want to increase the workout, you move the weights up over the heart. Okay. Lift them up there. And stop.
Wait.
Okay, simple 4 sets of those.
Wait.
And then you change the time on it. So you can change the time to whatever you want. And you should keep changing it up. Maybe do it for 10 seconds. Okay, maybe do it for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. That's the case. Okay? Now, the other exercises that you do, same way. Let's go down. Okay, on all 4s like this. And foot back. Okay. Right before you're running. So it doesn't really matter which foot. Okay, you're going to do this and you're going to run, okay? Has everyone played this before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all we're going to do is just going to run. Okay, and we do it for 15 seconds. Ready, go. And stop. Okay, you can take whatever rest you think is appropriate. It can be a 15 second. 5 second, 10 second. And then you do 4 sets of those or 8 sets. Just depending on how you feel that way. No. Depending on what you plan, okay? Okay, I don't tell you that. It's based on what you plan. So stick to your plan. Okay, now. I think probably the best thing to do for this next one is to let's get chairs out. Cheers together. Okay, everyone play step a little bit. It works much better when you have something you can step up and hold through. Well, they're a little bit wide, but something like that would work. So let's just have a look at this. All we're going to do is we're going to go. Anything that you can create with this kind of workout is great. I'm going to give you a couple of them that work really good. Okay, what we're going to do is step up with the right foot. Okay, down with the right foot. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Move side, we're going to do 15 seconds with the right side of the set. Hey, are you ready? Okay. 15 seconds with the right foot, leading up and leading down. Ready, and go. Jump, just walk fast. Go around. You're just moving major muscles. Now, what you should do is, when you do your workout, you should go something with resistance first, okay, and then go to something which re-engages fast twitch fiber. Okay, and one little exercise you can do for this: just pick a line on the floor, a mat on the floor. Okay, and let's just treat it like this is a pencil or something. And what you're going to do is just go as fast as you can. Okay, then turn around and back the other way as fast as you can. So ready? You go for 15 seconds. Ready? Aye. Go. Get around back the other way. So don't go too far. Ready? Fast, 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 fast. Ready? Fast move. Fast, fast, fast. Not big move. Fast move. Not big move. Fast. Fast, 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 fast. Go fast move and time. Okay? X number of sets of those. Okay, so with little things like that, you can do a good 30-minute workout. That'll give you 5 minutes or so to do a cool down. Okay. Give you about 5 minutes to get the heart rate up, and then you just start the timer. Everyone count do your heart rate right now, ready? And start counting a minute. You have to make sure that you monitor during the workout. Oh, maybe about 3 or 4 times to check. Make sure you're still working. Stop. Okay? You're working?
36.
You're working? Carol? 33, you were working, yes?
Oh, 36, sir.
Okay, good.
41.
32.
How many?
About 32 that time.
35.
Okay. Okay, 41. So everyone, either you are at your target heart rate or you're somewhere around it. Now for people who are in good condition, you'll probably find that you have to work above it. But what happens is, for the amount of energy you have to put out, okay, to get above your target heart rate, okay, when you measure that against the return that you're going to get, it's not worth doing it. You're expending a lot of energy for very little return. So working within your target heart rate is very important. Okay? All right, now let's continue with any questions on that at all? No, I mean, again, it's about 3 times a week when we do it. I usually do that before I do my strength training. And go right into strength training after that. I'm going to show you, well, that's just one more thing I'm going to show you that you'll find very useful. And I'll send you guys a copy of it. Anyone here the program Legendary Abs? You have that? You have that?
I like somebody, but yeah.
Do you have the new one, Legendary Abs too?
No, I should be.
Okay. Turn down on your backs.
Okay.
Just sit up so that you can watch me first of all. Legendary Abs, what the theory is that the abdominal muscles are actually divided into 4 different groups. And what most of the abdominal exercises do is they exercise the wrong muscle group first. What it's saying is that the lower abs, okay, upper abs, and then of course you have your glutes. Whenever you're doing your workout, the upper abs are actually involved with everything that you're doing. But if you blow those out first, then you can't work the lowers. So you must work the lowers first. A real good exercise for doing that, no matter what else you do for your abdominal work. And if you can hang and do knee-ups and leg-ups, and again, I'll send you a copy of that thing so you can make copies and get people interested. So a real good exercise you can do. It's quite simple. Just put the legs straight up in the air like this, okay? And just watch me again, first of all. And all you're going to do is just push straight up and lower it down. Okay, so I'm going to go down at half the speed I go up. Okay, so just push and then just straight. Okay, everyone try that. Try to do about 20 of those. Huh? Of those? No.
Buddy of mine gets his shoulders, just his shoulders, and his legs, he brings them all the way down, his back never touches, that's how strong his stomach is.
Okay, now don't rock. Okay, don't touch the floor. Push it up. Lower it down slowly. When you get almost to the floor, don't rock, no rocking. Ready? Get those legs straight. Ready? And just push up. Ready? Even if you don't get it up very high, that's fine. Ready? Push. And even if you feel like you're pushing, that's fine. Ready? Just push up. Ready? Good. Ready? Push up. Now don't rock. Ready? Don't rock. Straight up. Push up. Push. You got rock. And again, even if you can't push off of the floor yet, just try to shoot your legs straight up in there without swinging. Right? Okay? That's all you do. Ready? Go. And soon you'll be able to push it off the floor. And then, of course, the trick is to lower it down at half the speed you go up. Ready? Up, down, and down. Okay, and then that's enough. That's it. Again, put that in with your ab workout, and you'll find that it really strengthens that lower stomach a lot. Okay? Now, let's just kind of review what I started on the other night, which was methods of moving. Methods of moving in, methods of moving out. And putting it in this context once more. You must have a different method of moving
to cover different distances between you and your opponent. And if we use the same type of step or the same type of movement for every distance, then what we're doing is we're going to break our 3 points of balance with it. So let's just do a quick review. Okay, we started out with, first of all, the first one is just a very natural step. Okay, it's already a very natural step. And again, ready? Step. Ready? Hitch! And back. Same. Ready? Hitch! And back. Ready? Hitch! And back. Okay, now let's look at one thing. The human body functions at its peak like this. Okay, this is the fastest way in the world for human beings to run, to move. Okay, just like that. So we don't want to start this way and end up this way. Here's again 2 things I have in mind. Right? I want to catch the person first, and I want to get out of there very fast. So if I start out like this is not the fastest way for humans to start. Okay? If I end up like this, okay, this is not the fastest way for humans to start.
Okay.
Okay? So what I want to try and do is on this number 1. Now there are kogekis or movements that are designed to circle in like this, but this particular one is for you to cover the most distance very, very fast with natural movement. So what we move with is not, we travel on our feet, but we actually move with the hips. If I don't allow my hips to rotate, then I'm moving on a straighter line. And it's simple. The shortest distance between any 2 points is that straight line. Okay, this is not a straight line movement. Okay? I just want to get this hit from here to here as quickly as I can. Okay, and that's fast movement. When I'm back down, I want to do the same thing. So create that straight line. When you're training, if you're trying to get from point A to point B, forget about what your feet are doing, but drive the center of your body on a straight line. Okay, just adjust to a line right there. Let's force the body to stay on that straight line as you move. Ready? And yes. Okay, ready and back. Same way. Out of it. Ready? And yes. And out. Same way. Ready? Yes. And out. Same way. Okay, now in immediately out. Ready? Yes. Okay, simple one, right?
Right.
Okay, now this one does do a crescent movement. It circles around. It's circling around in this direction. So it is a very, very circular technique. Ready, and circle around. Okay, ready, and okay, now again, just because I do this with the foot, doesn't mean that I have to turn my body completely sideways. The way the foot is going from here to there is more of a crescent movement. Okay, and whenever I retreat, it's the same thing. So if I'm in a stance here, in this same stance, I can press it to any direction. Place that foot in. Ready, and ready, and out. Okay, good. All right, the next one is just simply, I have a line there, and I'm just hopping across that line back and forth. And my objective here is to keep the same distance between my feet right now. On the most basic level, same distance between my feet. Ready? And hitch! In and out. Okay, and I must accomplish this without bouncing up and down.
Right.
Now just imagine you have 2 cups of coffee in your hand here. And you don't want to spill that coffee. You have it there, don't spill the coffee. Ready? Okay, now look at the distance between your feet. What I've done is I've tied a stick between your feet. Okay? It's attached to your ankles. Now, you can't snatch the stick in and you can't stretch it out. It has to stay just like that the whole time, same distance. Okay, why am I in this stance? Am I most comfortable here? This is my most effective stance. I can run real fast from here, I can get out of the way, I can kick you, I can punch you, I can do everything. So why would I want to get close to you and then stand like this in my uncomfortable stance?
Okay. Right.
You want to be very comfortable. Ready? Let's go.
Right.
Let's get that. Okay, staying on the balls of the feet all the time. You see how your feet are coming closer together as you do that? Okay, so I want to keep this distance. All I'm doing is I'm going from point A to point B. I'm doing the same. See, and I just shoot back and forth between point A and point B. Same distance between feet. Okay, without jumping up. Okay, good. That's a simple one. All right, next one. It's a step and drag movement. And all we do is from here is just step and drag. Okay, treat the same. Step and drag. And we all use this already. Okay, in and out and out. There we go. Step and drag. Okay, look at where we were and where we were going. Okay, then look at what we look like after we get there. Okay, so let's start out, let's go, and then see what we look like once we get there. Ready? I'm going there, ready? And when I start out, am I exactly the way I was before I left home? No, I've changed now. And the bad thing is that I changed right here in a very, very crucial area. This is the critical zone. I mean, we have that line there. When I cross that line, where I can hit him, he can hit me, that is a critical zone. So that's where you must be in your most effective stance. Okay? Not only so that you deliver good technique, but so you're able to get out of it. Yes?
When you come forward and you're on both feet, is your weight equally balanced or is it more forward?
It's balanced on both feet.
Thank you.
Now, which one were you doing? Were you doing the previous stance or?
Well, this one even.
Okay, now all you do is just take a step and drag the other foot. That's all you're doing. Step and drag. The Chinese have a theory they call hollow leg, okay, full leg. It's like we have water in our leg right here now. Both legs are full. Give me a chance. They're both full of water. Okay, empty this leg. Okay, fill it up again. Now empty the other leg. Fill it up again. So just for a split second. Okay, you can pull. Now keep in mind that stances are really only transitional stages that we go through. Okay, I know I practice very diligently doing a cat stance, okay, or a back stance. Okay, when I'm fighting, I would never spend very much time in those stances at all. Okay, if I work a jungle stance and I initiate an attack, I don't go attack and boom, jungle stance, and I stay there in the jungle stance. The time that you spend in that stance is very brief, so okay, you're out of there again, right? When it attacks you, you move to a cat stance, it's very brief and you're gone, something else. So don't think of any of them as positions that we just go into. Even our fighting stance, am I really in the stance? Okay, I'm not in any particular stance, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I never go stance. Okay, it happens. If I punch, block, it's there and it's gone. Right? Fluid. Okay, let's go. Step and drag. Step and drag. Get your leg hollow. Get your leg hollow. Okay. Go full, one's empty. Change constant. Okay, now you're doing a foot replacement with that. Okay, go. Okay, keep working it everywhere. Ready? All right, now do this. Okay, start here. Okay, take this foot, step across the line. See, you stretch yourself out, right? Now drag the other foot back to your comfortable knee. Ready? Now going back, stretch yourself out. Drag back to your comfortable knee. So you're right where you want to be. Okay, so you're moving the wrong foot first, right? Okay, shift your weight evenly on your legs. Okay, now step this foot and drag the other one. Okay, now retreating, ready? Step that one and drag it. Step it and drag it. Okay, step it and drag it. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, now, in all of your stances, the most important thing is to remain centered. Okay, centered between your knees. Okay, you wouldn't do a back stance like this. Like those. I'm between the knees. My horse stance on the knees. What kind of stance I'm in between the knees? It's the same thing here. So I reach out, boom, and I return to right between the knees. Let's do the next one. The next one is a foot replacement. So my foot's on this line. What I'm going to do is this.
Okay.
That's it. Here's what Bill Wallace uses for this kick in the head with okay. Now, the key that makes any of your stances work, but especially this one, is fast foot movement. Okay? This is the time. Okay, so fast. Okay, so fast. That's it, right? And you're going right back to the same stance you're in. You're not changing the stance. Okay, now one big thing wrong with what you're doing is your feet are leaving your body. So you're going here, and you're going boom, like your feet are going out. Your feet are going back. So you're breathing center all the time. Boom, so center. Boom, center. Always and down.
Right?
Very good. Now let's do another one, right? Of course, you can mix these in with your hands, your feet, whatever you want to do. So this one is crossing over to the front. Okay? Sorry, we have different methods of crossing. You can cross just like this. You can cross the foot just a little. Okay, keep your stance. Okay, that's all irrelevant. If your legs are crossed, your legs are crossed, no matter how much you cross and how little you cross.
Okay.
Okay, cross stance. So step. Right here. Cross, really cross. Okay. Boom. Okay, now see on the retreat, you're doing this naturally, which is stepping to the rear. And so that's what you're doing here. You step here, you're going when you're going out. So we're going into the front here, we're going out to the rear, so you also look into the rear. Okay. Try to advance again. Stepping the foot behind, so from here. Honestly, if you're going to hit the person with a side kick or something, or a hook kick.
Okay,
Retreat this way.
No, retreat the same way. No, yeah.
1, 2.
Yes.
So,
No, you don't want to, no matter what you do, okay, you don't want to tie yourself up like this, unless you are doing a turning step.
okay.
The 7 and 8 are pretty much just methods of getting in there, right? Different ways of going in. Okay, now you see, these can be used for changing directions as well. Let's say if you go into number 7 doing this, if you're going to go out, you're going to do number 1 and fly. So So don't think that you have to go back the same direction you came in on you. So even if I go the first one in this way, boom, and I'm going out in the second one, I change directions. Very easily. Okay, any questions on those?
No, sir.
Let's combine them then, right? Let's look at number 1, and, well, I'll just tell you what they are instead of trying to tell you the numbers that they are, what we do. The first one was just a step through like this. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to do a combination of stepping through, and you're also doing a step and drag, which is, as I step through here, take a longer step. And this is what we do a lot when we try to reach too far by doing, if I want to cover that much distance there, so I try to do it with this step and drag motion. That's very difficult. Okay, instead, what I do is I do the first one and then the step and drag and combine, so stepping through. Okay. Now I can do that, I'm in balance when I get there, so I have my balance very well. Or I can combine it and do a step and drag, which if I do, or rather foot replacement, if I do foot replacement here, I can't reach you. So if I do foot replacement and step and drag together, foot replacement, step and drag, now I can't. Instead of just trying to do the step and drag or just the foot replacement, so you start to combine them, right? So let's combine foot replacement and step and drag just by going here. Ready? Foot replacement. Okay, see how much distance you cover. Okay, try and cover the length of one of the mats. This is what? How long is this?
8 or about 7.
The mat?
Yeah.
Which may be 6.
2 meters, but so that's about 7 foot.
That's a lot of distance to cover, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now try and cover that with just a step and drag, or just step and drag, and try to see how much of it you can cover that. No, it's just step and drag. Step and drag is just on the forward foot like this, which is what most people do when they're fighting to try to step and drag and cover a long distance, right? So, I think that's pretty good research. See how much you can cover with step and drag. Be ready. Okay, good. So everyone give that a try. And these are kind of remember, whenever we're airborne, okay, we're very vulnerable too. And this cuts down on having the need to do that. If you're airborne, I can stop you or redirect you with one finger. It becomes very easy to control at that time. Okay, let's go. Can't cover very much distance. All right, now a lot of the changing is when we go foot replacement, step and drag. Okay, right? So all we're going to do is from here, we're going to go foot replacement, step and drag. Cover the whole mat. combine these any way that you feel comfortable with. It just depends on whether you're close in fight or you're a fighter that fights on the outside. You see the close in techniques, set and drag works fine. So we then start to look at the distance between us and the opponent. And of course, the whole objective is I don't want you to get close to me. If you do, I'm going to hit you with something where I want to be. And so you have to start to trick the person. Now, the way that we trick the person, we start making everything look the same. Okay? All the attacks have to look the same. Let's just take, for instance, foot replacement. Foot replacement, what we're going to do is just make a few techniques look like the same technique. So if I foot replace here, boom, and I move in, okay, front. Let's just start with that. So foot replacement front. Ready? And hit. Again, ready? Hit. Again. Hit. Again. Hit. Okay, now let's do the same thing. So foot replacement and front hand punch. Ready? Hit. Same, ready? Hit! Hit! Now, foot replacement, reverse punch.